Hey CCN community, my name's Joseph. You may have seen me in some webinars on Discord or other videos. I'm pretty active in the community here, and we have a lot of questions from our members just regarding our Ale wallet. There are a lot of people that are just new to crypto and don't understand some of the features that our wallet has, so today's going to serve a purpose of just kind of educating and doing a brief overview of the entire Ale wallet. So log into, access any browser that's Chromium based, so that could be Google Chrome or Brave browser. In this case I'm using Brave, and we'll go ahead and actually install the extension. So if you've never installed an extension before on Brave, you could click this little puzzle piece or these three bars here and go to extensions, and you could click this little embedded link to take you to the Chrome store. You'll search for Ale wallet. And to be sure that it's actually our Ale wallet, just verify that it's offered by Computecoin network and it's not anything else. If it's something else, then it could be a malicious extension that's trying to actually hack you or scam you of funds. So it's just always good to be precautious and verify the source of what you're actually installing, especially if you're new to crypto. So in this case, we'll add the extension, and it's now added. I could pin this extension so it's easily accessible. If I'm in a new tab, all I have to do is click the little A, and it brings me to my wallet interface. So once you're on this little interface here, you'll have two options: import a wallet, and in this case we're not going to import a wallet, we're going to be creating a new one. So creating a new wallet is going to generate a new secret recovery phrase. It's going to ask us to set our password first. Make sure it's stronger than just a generic password. And it's going to ask you to reveal this secret recovery phrase. Now, for anybody who is new to crypto and doesn't know what this is, this 12-word phrase, it could be 12 words, it could be 24 words, it depends on the wallet that you're using or the software, is what allows you to access your funds. What this is actually called technically is a private key, and your private key is actually stored differently, and the computer generates an easy 12 words for us to remember. Now, it's similar to the internet. The internet translates via IP addresses or DNSs. The computer recognizes google.com as 8.8.8.8, whereas we remember Google as google.com. So in this case, it generates 12 easy words here for us to remember. When I click to reveal it, it's going to give us these words. Now, in this case, this is just a test here, so I'm okay, and nobody's going to use this wallet. I'm going to delete this wallet and never use these phrases again. It's almost a pointless wallet here. But in your case, if it's your first time setting up, especially if you're new to crypto, you don't share these with anybody. So I'm just going to copy these here, because when we go to the next page, we're going to have to re-enter these to ensure that we actually know the secret recovery phrase. So I'm going to pause the video, come back once I entered this phrase. So once you've successfully re-entered that phrase, it says you're all set and your wallet's almost ready, but it just gives you a quick reminder here. Make sure that you have multiple backups. Now, if you're new to crypto, a common thing that is done, especially in the ecosystem, is to restore those backups in multiple places. For example, you may have them in a physical safe in your house, a safety deposit box at the banks, and another safe in somebody else's house. Some are stored on steel bars, others are stored separately on different type of special paper that doesn't burn or doesn't, get affected when it's wet. But I recommend you have multiple backups, especially if you're storing a multitude of assets or a lot of wealth on one wallet. So in this case, we're all done here, and we're now in our web interface. So there's a couple of things going on here. We'll focus on the top right section first. If we click here, we could cycle between our different networks. Dome is our first network for the new people here. You won't really use that. Huygens is our second testnet, and this is what we're going to be interacting with, especially in the future. For all of our developers out there, to enable Huygens Dev Network after you receive testnet tokens, which remember, those have no value, they're simply just to test your smart contracts and other D applications into the ecosystem. By clicking Settings, you get brought to this menu, and you have two options. About will simply tell us our wallet version. Advanced will bring us to these two options here. I could change my auto lock feature, which is a good security mechanism. In this case, we'll keep it at 15. But testnet dev mode is Huygens dev. So we'll enable this here. And we now have a third option. I could select this option simply by clicking it. So there we go. To create another account, we could simply click Create Account. And we could name this whatever we want. Now, if you're a miner, you'll have to have two separate accounts, a miner account and a worker account. So in this account, I just renamed this. I created an account and named it Worker. And we could create as many accounts as we want. And that one 12-word recovery backup phrase will remember all of these public keys. So, navigating down here, we could see it says not connected. Some people might get confused and say, well, am I not connected to the wallet? No, this is actually saying the wallet is not connected to any DApp or decentralized application. So because we're not connected to any application here, it signifies that the wallet is not connected. If we click it, it says Ale is not connected to this site. And that's okay. Now, you may be wondering how to get your address, your public address, to receive tokens. There's two ways to get that. You could either do it by simply clicking this, and it automatically copies your address. There we go. Or you click Receive, and you could copy using the copy function here. And again, that'll give us the same address. And this is the address that you use to receive funds. If you're sending funds, you click Send, enter a wallet address, and the amount of CCN that you want to send. In this case, we have no CCN tokens, so we can't send anything. This transaction fee is called your gas, or the network fees to actually make the transaction happen. Now, some other people in the ecosystem may interact with UCCN, which is the native stablecoin. In order to get that into your wallet, you simply add tokens. And if you give it a minute to load here, it'll search and look for the popular the popular tokens that are used in the ecosystem via a smart contract method. And we could simply add this here. And if we close out of this, we now have our UCCN token. So I hope this gives you a basic overview of the Ale wallet. I do not think there's much else here. There is two more functions. If you do want to know, again, this is your public address. This is another way to get this address, either clicking here, clicking Receive and copying, or going here and copying. This public address is what you send to people when you want to receive funds. You'll see two options here, export private key or export key store. These two things here are only things you should be doing yourself when nobody else is around. I do not recommend that other people be around. The information behind these two buttons is very sensitive. So if you're screen recording, or if you have other people around and you don't want them to know the private information to steal assets, don't be messing around with these two functions. It's always good as a security practice to lock your wallet when you're done with it. It was a pleasure to make this tutorial video. I hope this helps the newcomers into the ecosystem. Just familiarize yourself with our Ale wallet. Very similar to MetaMask, so this tutorial should help for all wallets in the ecosystem. It was a pleasure. See you in the next one. Cheers.